welcome to my weekly video blog, and it's another getting to know me blog this week. As you can see, my display is up here. This is the display that's left over from the Grotto meal that we hosted today at Markenfield. The Grotto meal goes back 3 years now to when I first moved in here, and my first Christmas here I decided it would be nice to decorate with lights and tinsel and all sorts. So I set up my lights and my tinsel, and I invited my grandparents, my nan and my father and my sister Tiffany came round, and those three came round for the first Grotto meal, and my nan said it's such a nice experience that I should add to it each year and allow the family to come round for a meal, bring and share, to see the lights and see everything like that. This is not a formal meal in terms of inviting, everybody has to turn up. I invite my nuclear family, the family that live around here, and that's all. And they don't all turn up very often. Somebody's usually away doing something, which is fine. They don't need to come to this. This is just an opportunity, if they want to come along on a Sunday for an hour or two and have a look at what I've done. Second year, I think my father and my nan came. My mother couldn't make it last year, and neither could my sister, I think. So there's usually just 2 or 3 of us, 2, 3, 4, something like that. The place isn't huge. This year there were about 10 of us. Everybody turned up, which was fantastic. We still had lots of food, everybody bought lots of food, still lots left over, everybody left with goodie bags. My sister even brought her just over 2.5 months old child along, which was nice. My other sister is about 2.5 months away from giving birth, so she had to bring her child along as well. And that's my phone that's just gone off there. So that was fabulous. The reason I've got enough time in this blog to sort of talk to you like this about something so current when it's a getting to know me blog is because we're on to the second theme. And the second theme was something that most people will probably be familiar with. This is a theme that started in that season of my life. The Lucky David Show, it was called, and it is still with us now, and that is Keith. Keith doesn't really exist in terms of being a person at all. Keith is a name, and it's the name I give to my journal. And my journal, the story goes that my parents had to take us one Saturday morning to Office World in Lincoln, and us 3 kids were messing around whilst they were doing some stationery shopping, and I fell in love with this big tome, this big page to a day A4 diary, and I said, could I have it? And my mother said, yes, but only if you write in it every day. And that was on the 17th of February 1996, and she said to help me write in it. It's quite a big commitment writing in it, to be fair. It's a page A4 a day, and if you think how many people actually write a page of anything A4 today, most people do nothing with pens apart from maybe sign their name or tick. They don't usually write whole pages. But she said the best thing is to start off with dear somebody, and obviously it's usually right dear diary, but that was a bit impersonal, so she said why don't you write to someone. So I created Keith, and now I write Dear Keith. I shall begin in about 10 days time to write in my 20th volume, and here it is. It's a new volume each year. I have 20 of these now stored in my special chest that I got for it. This is 2015, and of course Keith will turn 19 full years on the 17th of February next year. And so I'm still writing. Now, you know, people say, is it an unbroken record? No, not completely. Some years are better filled in than others. I try to write every single day, but I don't often write an awful lot. And some years I've failed very dramatically at doing so. All I can say is that each year I have written something in some diary. So it's continuous in that respect. What do I write in it? Well, sometimes I write in it what I've done that day. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I write how I'm feeling, or my plans for the future, or things like that. But it's one of those themes that maybe took over, I suppose, a little bit from the sort of thing that I was talking about recording on blank tapes before. It was sort of a way of keeping, I suppose, with the past. It's interesting to look back to see how I've changed. It's interesting to look back as well for, you know, important dates that might otherwise have been missed. You know, that sort of thing. I've obviously done diary days, which is another video that you can look at if you want to know more in depth about my journals and stuff like that. But really, it's just an archive. It's something I like to do. I suppose you could even call it a sort of hobby, really. A journalist, not a journalist, but a sort of a diary writer, or something something like that. The interesting thing is, of course, that I have information in going back on my sister as a sort of child, and now she has a child. And it's funny to see how things have changed, you know, in 20 years. And all the sorts of stuff that perhaps one day her child, when they're grown up, might, you know, find interesting. Ooh, how did my mother live when she's, you know, I don't know, 80 or 90 years old? So this week's birthdays cover Christmas week. Do you know, I would personally hate to have my birthday this close to Christmas, because when you get, like, nothing throughout the rest of the year and then just everything all on one day. Never mind, I still think those people need a good old happy birthday, so I'm giving them a bloggy mention anyway. Next week, of course, it's show and tell, but that will be a sort of Christmas greetings one, but that's after Christmas, so at least this gets to them, you know, before, I suppose. We have two people, Marcus Durant and Tracy Webb, so I hope they will have happy birthdays despite being close to Christmas. This is a definite happy birthday to them. I'll say happy Christmas later.